Have you ever read a novel and it was so interesting that you couldn't put it down? Well, I have. The last novel that I read was Dear John by Nicholas Sparks. This romantic tragedy kept my attention and was a great book. There are two main characters in this novel, John and Savannah. John did not have a good relationship with his father growing up, so he got into a lot of trouble as a kid. When he graduated high school, he went into the military and they set him straight. They taught him respect and responsibility and shaped him to be a great soldier. So one day John was coming home for R&R for 2 weeks and he met Savannah, which is the other main character. Savannah is complete opposite of John. She's gentle, kind, she's a Christian, and she had a great upbringing with her parents. Savannah and John met on the beach after John rescued her purse in the water, and after that they had 2 amazing weeks together. They went to restaurants, they went and had dinner at John's father's house and got to know John's father, and that kind of made John and his father rekindle their relationship. And also, Savannah took him to church, which was a first for John. John hadn't been to church in a while. After these 2 weeks, John had to go back to Germany to serve the rest of his enlistment, which was 18 months. Savannah was ready to commit to John and spend the rest of the 18 months writing him love letters to keep their relationship alive. John went to Germany and Savannah's letters started coming. Each one would start off, "Dear John, I love you," and so on. During his 18 months of enlistment, September 11th happened. This was a big impact not only for the soldiers but also for people all around the world. John decided that he was not going to get out of the military like they had planned and start his life with Savannah. He decided to commit another couple of years to the service and go to war in Iraq. Savannah was very upset about this decision, but she knew that it was not her decision to make. So they decided to still keep in touch and that she would write love letters. When John went to Iraq, the love letters started coming and then soon became scarce. She started writing fewer of them and began to stop. 6 months after that, John received the last letter from Savannah saying that she found a new love and that this was going to be her last letter that she wrote. John was very depressed about this, but he dedicated his work to the war and tried to get over Savannah in Iraq. When his father became very ill, John had to come home and bury his father because his father passed away. When he was in town, he happened to look Savannah up and find out where she lived. He went to Savannah's house and found out that she was married. John realized then that there would be no relationship between John and Savannah again, that their love was going to have to wait. So Savannah also told John that Savannah's husband has a very bad illness, and the only way to treat the illness was to have this expensive medical treatment that they could not afford at the time. In the book, the last meeting that John had with Savannah, John said this to Savannah: "I love you, Savannah, and I always will. I breathe. You're the best thing that has ever happened to me. You are my best friend and my lover. I don't regret a single moment of it. You always made me feel alive. And most of all, you gave me my father. I'll never forget you for that. You're always going to be the very best part of me. I'm sorry it has to be this way, but I continue to hold you here for a long time. When we finally separated, I knew that it would be the last time I ever held her again. I backed away. I closed my eyes. Savannah said, 'I love you, John.' And John said goodbye." So even though they both knew that they couldn't be together and she had to go to her husband, John left. And he decided that he would sell his father's coin collection, and he donated all the money to the medical treatment for Savannah's husband. He gave it anonymously, so Savannah didn't know that John gave this money. This book has 2 major themes. The first theme is sacrifice, and the second one is love. John sacrificed his life with Savannah for the military. And also, he loved his country, so that's why he wanted to go fight the war for Iraq. And in the same sense, he sacrificed his relationship with Savannah so that Savannah would be happy with her husband. he wasn't going to fight any longer for her because he knew Savannah was happy, and he loved Savannah, so he wanted Savannah to be happy as well. The author Nicholas Sparks writes romantic tragedies, and this is one of his great romantic tragedies. Some other of his romantic tragedies are The Notebook, A Walk to Remember, The Last Song, just to name a few. Writer Lauren Schaefer for nightsandweekends.com states that Nicholas Sparks does a great job of building his characters, drawing the readers into the story to the point of not being able to put the book down. This is a great book, and I highly recommend you check it out. It has made a big impact in my life, and you will love this romantic tragedy.